Hey ladies, it's Kiki Strickland, the founder of Friendship Mixers, here again with Shanta Kingham. And we just want to go a little bit more in depth about your ministry to leprosy communities. So Shanta, tell us a little bit more about how the Lord led you into it, how long you've been doing it, and where you see this going in the future.
Sure. So when I first encountered people with leprosy in 1997, and I was given permission to do 2 years of service in that community, I had no idea what I was going to do. And so I started and I sat down with each individual with leprosy with like a notebook and a pen, and I just asked them to share their life story with me. And I should preface this by saying I had learned the local language by that time because most of them don't speak English. So thanks be to God, I had learned the local language. And I just listened and I just wanted to hear from them, about their life, about their challenges. And after I had my time of listening, I would ask them, so how can I serve you? And each of them said the exact same thing. They said, whatever you want is fine. And I was like, oh no. Like, no, because it's not about what I want. I don't even know what I would do. And so I had to be a bit perseverant in my questioning and a bit like almost like stubborn and not receive that answer because like, no, I really need to know what you need. Like, what do you need? And so finally, after persistence and patience, they were able to say, okay, we want to learn how to learn English. And we want Bible studies because most of them were diagnosed with leprosy as a child. So they therefore never went to school because as someone with leprosy, you're just ostracized and you're put away in the colonies and you're hidden, right? Nobody wants to go near you. Nobody wants to see you. So you're just kind of like, pushed away. And so one woman had never picked up a pencil and I sat with her every day and started teaching her how to write her name, for example, right? So I started teaching English classes, which I had never done at that time. I was in my late 20s. I started doing one-on-one individual tutoring, and I started doing Bible studies. And we had prayer sessions, which turned into these amazing times of just sharing and ministering to each other. And that was from 1997 to 99. And like I said in the previous video, it changed my life. I bawled my head off when I had to leave the colony because they had blessed me beyond measure. It was just so humbling to receive from them and to experience their joy. Because mostly if you think of somebody with leprosy, you're going to think, oh, this person's going to be downcast. Some of the most rejected, abandoned people in the world, right? But if you hear their
like the forgotten people.
Right.
Nobody
even knows they exist.
Once they go into the colonies, they're like forgotten and never thought of again or never visited.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so to have the privilege of actually basically being amongst them for 2 years straight, day in and day out, and really gleaning from their wisdom because they have faced trials and tribulations that you and I may never face. And they have triumphed because they're still here. They still have joy in their heart. They still sang, they danced. It's just like, so I left that place and I just felt like I needed to change the world. So, it's like, it's hard not to be inspired and propelled into further action once you experience something like that. And so the Lord propelled me to different countries to do other things after that. But then in 2019, he brought me back to Ghana. And then I was the same thing, like, Lord, what do you want? What do you want me to do here? I'm by myself in Ghana. What do you want me to do? And he gave me an opportunity to, again, sit, listen, ask. What do the people need? And that's when the Lord put in my heart some things to do during this trip, which was supposed to happen in 2020, but because of the pandemic, we got pushed, a few years. And basically the needs and desires, I would say, were to receive microloans, to receive massage therapy. We also did Bible studies with them. And then to take them out on excursion because they don't get out. Like nobody takes them out. Like they sit by themselves day in, day out in the colonies. And rarely do they go out, for example, to the beach, to the zoo, to like just out for a meal. Like nobody takes. So it really was pressed upon my heart, like, let's take them out. So we went to a monkey sanctuary, we went to the waterfalls and we had a blast. And they were like children, so full of joy. They just couldn't believe how happy they were to get out. So that was what we did this last trip.
And I'm sorry, how long were you there just this past month?
About
What was
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Got it, got it.
Mhm.
And so what are your plans for the future with this ministry?
Definitely to continue to follow the Lord's guidance as far as, how we can best serve. We always ask the people what are their greatest needs, and that could change from time to time. And so they have requested an expansion of the microloan program. I know they're going to want more massage. I mean, they would probably want us to be there all year round doing massage. There is a desire for continued spiritual support in the form of Bible studies or retreats. And I know they would love more excursions. And so I think we'll probably continue to expand what we've started with, and then just kind of wait to be led by them. Like, what are the needs? What are the most pressing needs? And that's where fundraising will come in, because we'll just, it depends on fundraising too. How can we best support them? What are the most pressing needs, and where should we align our, financial support?
Great. Well, I love it. I am happy to donate to your ministry. And I think I told you I actually want to cover the airfare, because I know flying overseas anywhere can get a little costly. And I would like for my Friendship Mixers organization to adopt or sponsor your ministry. So some of them will also be donating.
Wonderful.
I think it's fabulous. Is there anything else you would like to share about the ministry, or future plans, or anything going on now that we should know?
Sure. I think part of also what we'd like to do is to encourage people in Ghana to support, as far as even going to visit. So there's an idea that has been put forth for an adopt-a-grandparent, right? And so just like how we have like big brothers, big sisters, or you go and visit someone in a nursing home, they don't have that there. Nobody visits the people, And so that is something we are trying to kind of stir up locally with our Ghanaian partners. Like, hey, let's get your church members, or even your friends and neighbors, to just visit one of these aunties or grandmothers once a month. It's just it's like the simplest thing, but they want to develop relationships, not just have somebody go to the leprosarium and donate a bunch of food and leave, which is great too, because they need food. But I'm just saying, like, the personal interaction. And I think just a need to break down the stigma. So even the opportunity to speak on this platform, if I can just get across to 2 or 3 people, hey, you don't have to be afraid of people with leprosy. These are people who, who deserve our love, care, and compassion. I think that's also kind of a part of what we hope for, is that the stigma will be broken down, and that they can be embraced just as like someone who has cancer, or just, other illnesses. We need to embrace people who are struggling in any kind of way, whether it be a physical illness or an emotional illness, just to kind of bring people with leprosy into our hearts and into our prayers, so that they're not forgotten, they're not rejected, they're not abandoned, which they have been for centuries, right? So that would be the only thing to add, I think.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned trip. So, hey, maybe Friendship Mixers could actually put Ghana on our list of places to visit, and then probably a smaller amount of ladies who go on the larger trip to Ghana might want to actually come and visit one of the colonies.
That would be incredible. That would make my heart sing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. And they would love it. They're so honored by even a short visit. They're so honored. I mean, and they're never going to want you to leave, because they always want you to stay, and they're going to like, when are you coming back? So they'll be so happy. It would make them so happy.
Wow. And tell people again how they can get in touch with you if anyone has questions or just want to know more about your ministry.
You can literally call me on the phone. Is that okay to give my personal number on this platform?
I will give your email address and not your phone number.
I will give my email address. So my email is Shanta, SHANTA .Kingham, KINGHAM @gmail.com. You can also reach me on Facebook under that name as well, Shanta Kingham.
Great, thank you.
You are so welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.